Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome here if you are new. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a bunch of Christmas baking. So I will leave all of the recipes linked or typed out down below for you, but I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you do while you're watching, make sure and give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, but other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So we are going to get started on cracker toffee. So you're just going to lay out some saltine crackers on a baking pan. Just try and lay them as evenly as possible. Mine were not fitting very well because of my parchment paper, but it all worked out in the end. I used about 1.5 sleeves if you're needing to know the yield, but also I have used some graham crackers, and personally I feel like the graham crackers are better. So I don't know, if you've ever tried this and you didn't care for the crackers, try graham crackers. We're going to work on the toffee part. So it is 2 sticks of butter to 1 cup of brown sugar, and you're just going to want to melt this down and then bring it to a boil. The recipe says once it comes to a boil, you need to continuously stir for 2 minutes. And I just set a timer on my microwave, and I don't try to guess it, especially with candy stuff. So I do recommend at least setting a timer or counting down or something like that. So the recipe that I used said to add your nuts in at this point. So that is what I did. However, I would not recommend doing that. I would recommend just topping the mixture with your nuts because it makes it a lot harder to spread. So if you're gonna put nuts, just make sure and top it instead of adding it into your mixture. But once it comes up to a boil for that 2 minutes, and you'll know, you will dump it on top of your crackers and spread it as evenly as you possibly can. It will spread a little bit more in the oven, but with my experience, it doesn't spread all that much. So try and do most of the work beforehand, and then after it comes out, you put it in at 350 or 375, I don't remember. You'll put it in there for about 5 minutes. You'll top it with some chocolate chips. I prefer to use milk chocolate chips, but I have used semi-chocolate as well, and it turns out just fine, but we really prefer milk chocolate. And then I like to sprinkle mine with some festive sprinkles. You don't have to, it is optional, but it does make it look really pretty.
Lately I've come to realize that I can see it in your eyes, so it's true. I'm so glad you feel it too. Nothing to hide but falling in love. To me it's perfectly clear we're falling in love. It's true, this part of the year has something in store for us. We're falling in love. Summer ended, but we did not. We started something. This thing that we got grew stronger. Each day we're together. On the way, oh, we're falling in love. To me, it's perfectly clear we're falling in love. It's true, this part of the year has something in store for us. We're falling in love. Hey. Take.
And here's what it looks like when it is all done. This was such a hit. Everyone loves this, and there was nothing left. So now we're gonna get started on some cake mix cookies. So if you are not a baker and you struggle to get things right with baking, I suggest trying cake mix cookies. So these are super easy. It's just a stick of butter with a box of cake mix, and then you put eggs, I believe. I can leave the recipe linked down below for you. Like I said before, everything will be linked down below. So if I say something wrong, don't take my word for it. Just check out the recipe. It's been a couple weeks since I did this, so it's not as fresh in my mind. But anyway, you're just gonna wanna mix that together. Definitely use a hand mixer or your KitchenAid because it is a very thick mixture. And then I wanted to make it more Christmassy, so I had some Ghirardelli peppermint bark in my pantry that I just wanted to get used up. I don't enjoy eating these on their own, so I thought this would be a good way to use them up. So I'm just gonna unwrap them. I think I used about 10, and I just put them in a sandwich bag and then just used my little rolling pin to bang them on the counter and just kind of break them up a little bit. You don't want them in little tiny pieces, but you do want them smaller than what they are here. And then you just mix that in with your hand mixer, and then you're going to use a cookie scoop and just spoon them out like you do regular cookies, and bake these at 350 for, I believe I did 8 minutes, and they come out perfectly. They're so soft. They're seriously like the softest cookies I've ever had. They're so, so good. You have to try this recipe. So now we're going to work on some super simple fudge. I have never made fudge any other way. I've heard people using marshmallows, but I'm not about that life. I want it to be as easy as possible. So I've got some sweetened condensed milk here. I'm just going to let that heat up a little bit. Add some butter. I would suggest adding your butter first and then adding your sweetened condensed milk. And then we're making sugar cookie fudge. So I just used some sugar cookie mix. This is just the Dunkaroos. It's what I had in my pantry. You're going to mix that together really well. And then add your chocolate chips. I used white chocolate chips. You're just going to melt those down. And once it gets shiny, that's usually the trick that I tell people. Once it gets shiny and you can't really work with it anymore, that's when you know that it's done. I don't really have a time frame, but you just want to watch when it gets shiny. And then you're just going to transfer it to a dish. I suggest putting parchment paper down so that you can pull it out whenever it sets and then cut it that way. Makes things so much easier. But yeah, this is definitely a really, really good recipe. I don't remember where I saw this. I think the Wads maybe made it first. It is super rich though, so I like to cut mine into smaller pieces. Okay, now we're going to get started on my famous fudge recipe. So it's the same thing as before. You want to make sure that you melt your butter down, which I did not do here, and then melt your sweet condensed milk. Just heat it up just a little bit. And then my trick is half a bag of white chocolate chips to 1 bag of milk chocolate chips. And this will be the best fudge recipe you ever had, I promise. And I like adding walnuts to mine too, just because I love walnuts. And it's the same as before. Just mix it together until it gets shiny. Transfer it to a parchment lined baking pan, and then cut it into squares when it's set. I also decided to do some chocolate covered pretzel bark. So I didn't show the whole process, but you just use the pretzel crisps and you lay them down as evenly as possible. Top them with some milk chocolate chips or white, dark chocolate, whatever you want to do. And then you just put it in the oven to melt the chocolate and spread the chocolate just like you do on your toffee. And this was really, really good. And it was super easy too, because I hate coating pretzels and chocolate. Like, the whole dipping process is just not for me. I don't have the attention span for it. So this was so much easier, and these were so, so good. And chocolate covered pretzels is like one of my favorite thing. So I will definitely be doing this from now on. Okay, so next is the Christmas tree dip recipe that's going around Facebook and TikTok. So I could not find Christmas tree cakes in my Walmart, so I just decided to get the fancy cakes. It's the same concept, it's just different colored icing. And I'm going to use half a block of cream cheese, whipped topping, and then some sprinkles to make it festive. So basically you just want to open everything up, mix it all together with your hand mixer, add your cream cheese, add your whipped topping, your sprinkles, and then you are done. And this was so, so good. You can serve it with pretzels, vanilla wafers, whatever you want to, but this was definitely another crowd pleaser this season. I saved the best for last. These are brownie truffles, so you're just going to want to bake the brownies according to the box. Super easy. And once the brownies are done, you don't want to get them like all the way done. You don't want them hard. I did mine again with parchment paper so I could lift them out. And so whenever it's done, you just take it out. You're going to crumble the brownies, put it into just whatever mixing bowl you have. I use the same mixing bowl as I use the Christmas tree dip. And you're just going to add your 4 ounces of cream cheese, mix that together really, really well, and then just use a cookie scoop or a spoon, whatever, and do them into balls. And then the best part about this is the espresso chocolate chips. So I wanted something that wasn't so rich because brownies are super rich, but I thought this would be really, really good. So it was such a crowd pleaser, you guys. These were so, so good. But yeah, I'll show you the espresso chocolate chips here in just a second. But basically, it's just making like Oreo balls. It's just in brownie form. And I got tired of dipping the balls because you guys know I just said that I do not like dipping. So I just decided to spoon the chocolate over the top of the brownie truffles, and I feel like that made it 10 times better because it wasn't like coated in so much chocolate. You could actually enjoy the brownie as well. So I suggest doing that. Just spoon it over the top and make it just like I said. So there's that bag of chocolate chips. Using my cookie scoop here really quickly. And then I did put these in the freezer just to let them set up for a little bit because my brownie mix was still pretty hot. But yeah, you can let it cool or whatever you need to do first. It is a very like hard mixture to work with, but it's 100% worth it. Okay, so that's going to be it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. Other than that, I will see you in my next one. Happy New Year, guys.